NASCAR is about as American as apple pie. But amid the tailgating and the roaring engines at this weekend's Brickyard 400, there was to be an unlikely sight. A pro-pot ad to be shown dozens of times on a giant screen just outside the Indianapolis racetrack. But just as the weekend was kicking off, the company who owns the Jumbotron pulled the ad after complaints from anti-drug groups.
If you're an adult who enjoys a good beer, there's a similar product you might want to know about. One without all the calories and serious health problems. Less toxic so it doesn't cause hangovers or overdose deaths, and it's not linked to violence or reckless behavior. Marijuana. Less harmful than alcohol, and time to treat it that way. For more information, visit marijuana.
Sounds like so much to say, I'm such and such and I approve this message. You know, the ad had the power to potentially reach hundreds of thousands of NASCAR fans over the course of the weekend. The first time a pro-marijuana legalization ad would have appeared so close to an entrance gate of a major sporting event. It was created by the Marijuana Policy Project. It is a group that advocates legalizing pot. Mason Tvert is the project's communications director. He joins us now. So what's your reaction to the ad being pulled, sir?
Well, you know, it's really unfortunate that this company has decided to take down an advertisement that simply highlighted the fact that marijuana is objectively less harmful than alcohol, when meanwhile, this is a race that's sponsored by alcohol companies. The teams racing in it are sponsored by alcohol companies.
All right, before we move on then, we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I want to read the statement from the Jumbotron company. It says, the content displayed on Gracie Media's screen outside of the Speedway does not advocate nor reflect the opinion of Gracie Media and its affiliates. The decision to remove the risque marijuana policy project ad was made without any prejudice towards the advocacy of alcohol or marijuana. We did not make this decision based on any outside pressure, so...
You know, this company can say that they weren't pressured, but we know what happened. We know that in this country, everyone accepts the fact that alcohol is available for adults 21 and older. They accept the fact that family sporting events like NASCAR races can be sponsored by beer companies. And it's simply a matter that when we start talking about marijuana being a safer product for adults, all of a sudden people get upset, and this company caved into that type of pressure from anti-marijuana organizations and potentially pro-alcohol organizations like NASCAR. Who knows? But it's really unfortunate because this is an important discussion to have. People should know that alcohol contributes to overdose deaths. It contributes to violence and all sorts of reckless behavior. Marijuana has never been found to contribute to those types of problems.
Yeah. All right, Mason, thank you. You make an argument that a lot of people are making. Thank you for coming on to CNN, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what you just said here. Because I want to bring in Dr. Devi. Dr. Devi, you know, he makes a very good point when he talks about it. A lot of studies have said that, and if you know, I'm actually surprised that the ad was pulled because many people think when it comes to marijuana, it's like same-sex marriage. It's kind of over. It's like not even a story anymore. So, but what are the impacts of alcohol and marijuana, the use on the body, and how do they differ? Help us understand that.
Well, I think, first of all, in terms of safety, we have to talk about different time periods. So, for example, we could look at immediate effects within 24 hours. We can talk about short-term effects, and we can talk about long-term effects, which are more over the course of years. So I think they are right when they say that marijuana is safer maybe within that immediate time period. There are people who have alcohol-related overdoses from having a large amount of alcohol or large quantity at any one point. And marijuana by itself hasn't been shown to have overdose deaths, at least immediately, unless it's in combination with other drugs. But we don't know about the short-term and long-term effects of marijuana as well. Although we have some studies, it's not really studied in detail because it's been illegal.
Mm-hmm. So we don't know about the long-term, you said, versus the immediate effects because there hasn't been enough studies of it, right? Do you think but do you, as a doctor, do you find it a generational thing, even in the hospital, even when you're treating people, maybe alcoholism versus uses for other drugs like marijuana?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I see more people with alcohol-related problems, but I think that's because it is legal and because it is more accepted, especially if we talk about alcohol or even tobacco, which isn't in this specific discussion. Because it was so accepted before, I mean, people didn't really realize the long-term effects until several years had passed. And by that time, because it's already part of the culture, you just kind of continue with that. So I think that it is somewhat generational. I think there's also a difference between medical use and recreational use of the drug.
Right, absolutely. Okay, thank you, Dr. Devi. Very good insight. Appreciate it, okay?
Thank you.
All right.